Welcome back to another Explainer. Today, we're diving into a massive, fascinating shift, specifically how modern Indian patients navigate the totally overwhelming healthcare maze to choose their doctors. I mean, if you've ever felt completely lost trying to find the right specialist, you are definitely not alone. The way we actually make these critical health decisions has transformed so incredibly over the last 20 years, and honestly, the data behind it is absolutely captivating.
So, let's just start with a super relatable question. When you or maybe a loved one gets sick, how do you actually make that crucial decision of who to see? Do you just call up the neighborhood clinic, ask your family group chat, or do you immediately grab your phone and just start scrolling through Google searches? Keep your own personal process in mind as we unpack what the broader data is telling us. To give you an idea of where we're at, one patient in the research literally said, "If the doctor has got a rating above 4 out of 5, it is my preferred choice. I will search for top 10 neurologist in Guwahati." That mindset perfectly captures our reality right now. We aren't just blindly trusting a neighbor's recommendation anymore, right? We're demanding a strict digital baseline, like that 4 out of 5 star rating, and we're using highly specific local search queries to build our shortlists. To make sense of all this dense academic research, we've broken this explainer down into 5 clear stages. Number 1, the doctor selection dilemma. 2, the non-negotiables, expertise. 3, the digital trust revolution. 4, deal breakers, time and logistics. And finally, number 5, the modern patient playbook. Let's get right into it.
Part 1. The Doctor Selection Dilemma. Shifting Paradigms. Let's quickly rewind and look at the patient mindset before the internet basically took over our lives.
Back in a 2000 exploratory study from the Journal of Evaluation in Clinical Practice, researchers surveyed about 636 healthcare consumers. And what they found was that, back then, patients cared almost entirely about traditional professional qualifications, formal board certifications, and just how easy it was to get an appointment, basic office management stuff. Interestingly enough, personal characteristics of the doctor, like their age or gender, just weren't that important. It was a very straightforward, credentials-first kind of world. Part 2. The non-negotiables. Expertise. Let's see how that historical baseline has evolved into what we look for today. Because here's the thing. Despite all our shiny modern tech, the core foundation hasn't changed at all. Clinical expertise, a baseline of trust, ethical behavior, and good old-fashioned bedside manner, those remain absolutely non-negotiable. Recent healthcare utilization research in India heavily emphasizes that trust is still the #1 major determinant when choosing private providers. Basically, a clinic can have the absolute slickest, most expensive website on the internet, but without those core pillars in place, patients are just going to walk away. Part 3. The digital trust revolution. This brings us to the real turning point of the modern era. How exactly do we verify that trust today? Well, a really fascinating 2023 study published in Decision Support Systems actually surveyed 344 patients to figure out this massive digital shift. They wanted to know, what exact kind of information are patients hunting for before they even think about picking up the phone to book a consultation? But to get the complete picture, they didn't just stop at surveys. The researchers went ahead and analyzed an astounding 666,551 actual physician reviews. They sifted through all of that to identify exactly what patients are searching for and what they're writing about online. They ended up pinpointing 25 specific categories of information that patients actively seek out. And the contrast over time is just brilliant. Think back to that year 2000 study, where just verifying a doctor's board certification and practice quality was totally enough. Fast forward to 2023, and we've gone from simply checking degrees to demanding transparent, granular details online. We don't just want to know if the doctor went to med school. We want to know about clinic hygiene, exactly how long the wait times are, and how good their communication skills are, all before we make a move. And crazy enough, the study found that this highly demanded info is often completely missing from current review platforms. When we look at research specifically focused on the Indian market, it shows that searching online and comparing multiple specialists through reviews is now the absolute standard pre-booking behavior. Patients are doing their homework, guys. They want transparent insights into the entire consultation experience, waiting times, how well the doctor actually communicates, and they're gathering all of this from the digital footprints left behind by previous patients. Part 4. Deal breakers, time and logistics. Okay, so once expertise and digital trust are totally established, what actually makes or breaks that final appointment booking? Well, we really have to remember that this is absolutely not a one-size-fits-all process. A 2024 systematic review looking at socioeconomic influences highlights that a patient's access and income fundamentally change how they weigh their options. Obviously, everyone is looking for high doctor quality, but factors like out-of-pocket cost and accessibility can suddenly become the absolute primary driver, totally depending on a patient's financial reality.
So the practical deal breakers really just come down to pure logistics. If the waiting time in a specific clinic is notoriously long, or if the consultation fees are just way outside the budget, patients will keep scrolling. The exact same thing goes for the clinic's location, how soon an appointment is available, and whether they accept the right insurance. A doctor could literally have 5-star reviews and impeccable credentials, but if they aren't accessible when and where the patient actually needs them, they're going to whiz out.
Part 5. The Modern Patient Playbook. Let's pull all these threads together to summarize the ultimate playbook for doctor selection.
If we look at the evidence-based ranking that combines all this academic literature and market research, it shows exactly what Indian patients care about most. Naturally, specialist expertise and qualifications sit securely at the #1 spot, but right beneath it, trust, reputation, and online patient reviews completely dominate the top tier. They even beat out traditional recommendations from family and friends, which sits down at #5, followed closely by the doctor's communication skills and bedside manner.
As we move further down that list of priorities, you can really see how heavily logistics factor into the final stages. Things like availability, fees, insurance, location, and waiting time take up the middle of the pack. And finally, rounding out the bottom, we are seeing the rapid-fire rise in importance of modern conveniences. Things like seamless digital booking, in-house diagnostic facilities, and really strong follow-up care.
So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a somewhat provocative thought about the future of healthcare. What happens when world-class bedside manner meets terrible digital hygiene? Because all the data makes one thing crystal clear. Surviving and thriving in the modern Indian healthcare market requires mastering both the stethoscope and the search engine. Thanks for learning with us today, and I really hope this gives you a whole new perspective the next time you find yourself scrolling for a new doctor.